They, them, and theirs. With me today are Worship Associate Marilyn Cullison, Choir Director Tom Cullison, and accompanist Megan Smith. Shout out to Harriet and Barb on tech today, and we offer a special welcome to those joining us on Zoom. Cameras back there, give them a wave. Hello, Zoomland. Now, do we have any first-time visitors in the sanctuary today? Raise your hand if you are a visitor. Would you like to introduce yourself? The mic is not on. I mean, no pressure if you don't. You maybe didn't know that there was public speaking here. No, you'd rather not? Okay, you're good. That's fine. Oh, all right. That works out well then. Okay, and now Holly Rogers, chair of the Adult Spiritual Enrichment Committee, has some announcements for us today.
Good morning. Good morning. This Thursday, we have the second installment of our social justice film series, The Letter. Join us at 6:30. It says 6 out there, but it's not. It's 6:30. In the sanctuary this Thursday for an uplifting documentary about a small group of climate refugees and environmental advocates that journeyed to Rome to meet with the Pope to plead for environmental action. This journey changed their lives, and this film might change yours too. This Saturday, excuse me, is the NAACP Young Women of Excellence dinner, and everyone is invited to attend. Tickets are $35, and Reverend Micah has some tickets left to sell. Who got a bingo card in their order of service today? Oh, nobody got one? You're going to have to go out and get one if you didn't get one. All right, there you go. Let's see. If you pay attention during the service and get bingo, Reverend Ma has prizes, so pay attention and see Reverend Ma after the service. That's all the explanations we have. All right. There are extra pens in the foyer if you don't have a pen. Anybody not have a pen? Are you guys awake? Okay. And now, we invite everyone in the sanctuary to please silence their cell phones, and all those on Zoom to please turn off your cameras to conserve bandwidth. Thank you.
And I now invite everyone to turn and greet your neighbor. Say hi to someone you know, or better yet, someone you don't know. Beloveds, we gather today in the spirit of celebration. We celebrate that we are people of all nations and races. We celebrate that we are people of all ages and abilities. We celebrate that we are people of all classes and gender identities. We celebrate that we are people of all sexual orientations. We celebrate that we are so different, and yet we are united by our shared covenant, and we dwell under one roof, and we are of one heart. Will the people repeat after me, "Come, let us worship together."
Come, let us worship together.
And I invite Marilyn with our chalice lighting reading today. So we light our chalice, the shared symbol of our faith.
Our chalice lighting words are by Cindy Fagan. We are all capable in different ways, with various strengths and talents. We are a holy part of the universe and the interdependent web. We light this chalice, cherishing our differences and holding each other in sacredness.
And we light also a peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, and that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. I now invite all to rise as you are able and willing for our opening hymn, number 188 in the gray hymnal, "Come, Come, Whoever You Are."
We'll sing it through 2 times. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, worshiper, wanderer, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Now that's the hymn that we know, but these words are adapted from Rumi, who is a 13th century Sufi cleric. And that's only part of the hymn, "Come, come again, come." It starts, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come again, whoever you are. So let's do "Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times." It's a drone that goes beneath it, and it goes kind of like this. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
It's important to know that though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, you are always welcome. Now, I would like to invite the young and the young at heart to join us up front for a story. Or you can just leave me alone here, I guess. All right. So today's Time for All Ages is by Sonia Sotomayor. Now, does anybody know who Sonia Sotomayor is? Yeah, Susan? Who's Sonia Sotomayor?
She's one of our Supreme Court justices.
That's right. She's one of our Supreme Court justices. She's one of the most important judges that we have in the United States of America. There we go. Suddenly all these people appeared. And this was also illustrated by Rafael Lopez. I'm not going to leave it on Rafael because illustrators are also very important in children's books. Am I right?
Right.
So this book is called Just Ask. Be different, be brave, be you. And it was written by Sonia Sotomayor, who said that she realized that there are many ways to be and that she was not alone and feeling different. And so she wanted to write this book to explain how differences make us stronger in a good way. Right. And this is our very first picture. The pictures should also be up there for those of you who aren't close enough to see the book. Because I know if you're all the way in the back row, we can cause trouble. You may not be able to see the picture in the back. So it starts out, "Hi, I'm Sonia. My friends and I are planting a garden. Gardens are magical places. Thousands of plants bloom together, but every flower, every berry, and every leaf is different. Each has a different smell, different color, different shape, and different purpose. Some flowers need lots of sunlight, while others thrive in the shade. Some have to be trimmed regularly, while others are better off left alone. Some trees and flowers are more fragile, and others are more hardy. Kids are all different too. Some of us are in a hurry, and others take more time. Some of us seem shy and quiet, while others are chatty and loud. Some of our differences are easy to spot, while others take longer to notice. Each of us grows in our own way, so if you are curious about other kids, just ask." Not everyone is comfortable answering questions about themselves, but I don't mind. What am I doing? Several times a day, I prick my finger to measure the sugar in my blood, and I give myself shots of medicine called insulin. Does anybody here know anyone who uses insulin? Yeah, lots of us know someone who takes insulin. I do this because I have diabetes and my body doesn't make insulin naturally like other people's. Even though this can sometimes hurt, I gather all of my courage to do it to be able to be healthy. Do you ever need to take medicine to be healthy? Does anyone here need to take medicine to be healthy? Not you. Good work. Let's try to keep it that way. So the next page has Raphael, who says, "I do. My name is Raphael, and I have asthma." Does anyone here have asthma? Yeah, several of us here have asthma. Do you have asthma? No? Lucky you. Having asthma means I sometimes have trouble breathing. When that happens, I take a break and use an inhaler with medicine to make breathing easier. Quiet time also helps me slow down and catch my breath. My inhaler is like a tool to help my body. Do you use a tool to help your body? Anyone here use a tool to help their body? Yeah, we've got someone who uses a cane here. Do you use a tool to help your body? Yeah. I'm Anthony, and I use a wheelchair to get around. Even though I can't run with my legs, I can go super fast. Just picture Anthony zoom in his wheelchair. How do you get from place to place? In a car? Oh man, it is nice to have a car to be able to get from place to place. My name is Madison, and my guide dog, Lucky, helps me get places safely because I'm blind. My friend Arturo is blind too. He uses a cane to get around. Even though we can't see, we strengthen our other senses and notice lots of details others may miss. We can hear with our ears, smell with our noses, and feel with our hands. That looks like a grasshopper. Have you ever caught a grasshopper? Yeah, they are really big. I'm BJ. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. I'm deaf. Most of the time, I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. Yeah, so that's BJ. He's using sign language to communicate. I also love reading and writing. What about you? Anybody here like reading and writing? Yeah, do you like to read and write? Oh, no, not at all. On the computer. I'm Bianca, and I have dyslexia. Does anybody here know anyone with dyslexia? Yeah, several people know someone with dyslexia. take my time when I'm reading and writing words. Sometimes I use computer programs, there you go, on the computer, to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas, and I'm very good at making art from the pictures I see in my mind. Are you really good at something? Yeah. You're really good at rolling around on the floor. Oh, now here's something I know a lot of people are going to love. Like, I'm great at dinosaurs. I know all about them. I'm Jordan, and I have autism. Who here likes dinosaurs? Oh yeah. What's your favorite dinosaur? Oh, someone's putting T-Rex in your ear. What's that? Oh. Oh, a long neck. I also love a long neck dinosaur. Brachiosaurus? Yeah, there's some dinosaurs here. You got bingo, you might be able to get a dinosaur after the service. Organizing and counting all my toy dinosaurs again and again. That makes me feel cool. Don't leave dinosaurs, but I have to turn to the next page. So Tiana also has autism, but it's different from her. She doesn't talk, but I like to talk. I especially like to talk about dinosaurs. For me, listening comes more easily than talking, and I'm a really good listener. My name is An, and I speak with a stutter. Has anyone ever met anyone with a stutter? Know anyone with a stutter? Yeah, it's really common, actually. So I sometimes repeat a word or get stuck when I try to say it. It may take me a little longer to express myself, and sometimes I'm too shy to talk, but I understand everything that's going on. My name is Julia. Sometimes I wiggle or make sounds that I can't control because I have Tourette's syndrome. Has anyone ever heard of Tourette's syndrome? Yeah, lots of people here have heard of Tourette's syndrome. People may look at me funny because they think I'm not paying attention or just acting out. But it's not true, I am listening. I don't always like having to explain. It frustrates me. But it helps when I tell people that it's just what my body does. My name is Manuel, and I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Who knows someone with ADHD? Yeah, that's just about everyone. I can get frustrated when I really feel the need to move around, even though I'm supposed to sit still. When my teachers and friends are patient with me if I forget something or get distracted, I can get myself back on track. So there's Manuel. He's just jumping all over the place. You like to jump all over the place? No, you hate jumping. I can tell. I'm Nolan. It's helpful to me when the food I eat has a clear label that says it's nut-free, because I am allergic to nuts. Who's got a food allergy? You used to. You used to be allergic, but you grew out of it? Man, lucky. I am still allergic to cashews and pistachios. So I always tell people about my allergy and ask if any food has nut ingredients. Speaking of keeping me healthy. So you see it here, there's a friendly squirrel trying to give him a nut and he's saying, no, thank you. That would make me have to go to the hospital. I love to sing and I love to talk and I love to make new friends and be included. I am Grace. I was born with Down syndrome. Kids like me with Down syndrome have an extra building block called a chromosome in our bodies. But we are all different from each other too. I can do almost anything any other kid can do. Though learning new things can take some time. One way I learn is to ask questions. It's me, Sonia, again. I ask questions too. Here are all the kids now in one picture. Man, there's like so many kids. When something seems different or new, I just ask my parents or my teachers, and they help me to understand, especially if my friends don't feel ready to explain. This is what I've learned. Imagine if all of the plants in this garden were exactly the same. Like, what if we could only grow peas? You hate peas? That would suck, right? That would mean no strawberries or cucumbers or carrots. It might also mean no trees or roses or sunflowers. Just like in our garden, all the ways we're different make our neighborhood and our whole world more interesting and fun. And just like all of these plants, each of us has unique powers to share with the thanks for joining me up front. You can go back to your seats. Or you can stay up front. Don't forget your bingo card. Someone's left a bingo card down there. That's our time for all ages. Yeah. And now, every week, we make some space and time to reflect on being human together. Because life is hard being human. Other times, it's very easy and very happy, but we all go through hard times and easy times, and we learn how to talk about those hard times and easy times and help each other through them. That's why we do this every week, which is every week I invite everyone to get up as they're willing and able and line up against the far wall over there by the triptych, and you come around front to where there's this basket of stones and shells and sea glass, and you take as many or as few represent whatever's on your heart, whatever joys and sorrows may be on your heart, and you leave them in this glass chalice of water. If anyone has a personal joy or concern that you'd like to share with the congregation, you can write it down on one of those pieces of paper there and leave it in the basket, and I will read it aloud after I've lifted up the concerns of our world community. This stone is for Israel and Palestine, which saw a resurgence of violence over the weekend. There is no right or wrong here. There never is when there's war and violence, because there's only suffering. And so we pray for this unending cycle of violence and suffering in the Middle East to someday end. This stone is for Afghanistan, which was hit by 2 earthquakes over the weekend. Over 800 are dead so far, and entire villages have been destroyed. We mourn their losses with them and pray for their swift recovery. And this stone is for the indigenous people of the Americas, for whom tomorrow is a day of grieving. While Christopher Columbus is recognized with a federal holiday for his explorations that led to the founding of the United States of America, the Native Americans of this country recognize him as an apocalyptic figure whose coming led to death, colonization, and their current oppression. Will all please join me in the spirit of prayer? Oh, beloveds, the news is heavy this weekend. The news seems heavy every weekend. News of war and famine and gun violence and climate destruction. Where can we find peace? Where can we find hope? We pray for more of those sources of peace and hope, even for those in Afghanistan, even for those in Israel and Palestine, even for those living on reservations far from their traditional lands. We pray that they find peace and hope and joy and comfort. We pray that we too can find peace and joy and comfort and healing, whether it be in our gardens or at the beach or in our own living rooms. May we all have places of comfort and healing to us. May we remember that somewhere in the world, just as there is a grief, there is always a joy. Somewhere in the world, someone has found a new home. Somewhere in the world, someone is celebrating their 100th birthday today. Somewhere in the world, a new baby, a promise of a new life and hope has been born. Somewhere in the world, someone is celebrating. Let us celebrate in our hearts with them as well. Amen, and blessed be. Now, we're about to sing our blessing song, and this is usually where we would sing all the little ones, and those who are young at heart as well, to the other building for activities. But today, we are only singing out our very, very littlest ones, because Joe Ellen Essex and Lauren Donahue, well, this was supposed to give them a break, but actually they're both working the seafood festival. So we're singing out our very little ones, ages 3 and under, and we're asking the bigger kids to please stay in the sanctuary today with your parents. You have your bingo card. You have the opportunity to win a prize, okay? Now, it's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do, what you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do, what I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty I love be what I do, and I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do, what we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty we love be what we do, and we don't have to do it alone. Cha-cha-cha. Ooh, feels like this song is getting even cooler. More rhythm. So if anyone would like to volunteer to help look after our little ones so that Joellen and Lauren can have a break when they're not working the seafood festival, please see me after the service and let me know. And now I invite everyone into a moment of silent reflection and contemplation. Choir rehearsals at 9 a.m. on Sundays, guys. If anybody wants to join in that fun. All right, how many of y'all went to school here in the U.S.? That's most of us, all right. So those of y'all who went to school here in the U.S., how many of you were taught that America is a melting pot? Okay, that's like more than half. How many of y'all were taught that America is a tossed salad or a mosaic? No one? Oh, apparently that's a California thing, maybe. Oh, wait, we have one hand. You were taught that America is a tossed salad or a mosaic? Yeah, at where? Like at your school? Yeah, okay. All right, so we got one hand up there for that. All right, how many of you have no idea what I'm talking about? Okay. No, okay, most people are familiar with this reference. So when I was in school in the 90s, actually, we did talk about America being a melting pot. Although by the end of my senior year of high school, I think my teachers were starting to talk about, well, apparently it's a tossed salad now. So the idea behind the melting pot is that people come to the United States from countries all over the world, and all of those different cultures and ideas melt down into one thing, and that thing is the United States. More recently, they're not really teaching that anymore because it was kind of an offensive idea. It's not really what's happening here, because if you toss a bunch of things into a pot and melt them down together, like let's say you put white chocolate and dark chocolate into a double boiler and you melt them down, they become the same thing, right? Yeah, so that's apparently what this picture is supposed to be illustrating, is all of these people walking into a cauldron and melting down. It's a little spooky, actually. But we're not all the same here in the United States, right? Like, not even close. So the metaphor is changing to a tossed salad or a mosaic. Because a salad has a bunch of ingredients and, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumber, maybe some fruit, maybe some nuts, depends on what kind of salad you like. You toss them together with some kind of dressing, and each ingredient retains its own identity while being part of something bigger. So a tomato still gets to be a tomato, but it's part of this bigger thing, which is the salad. And same thing with a mosaic. A mosaic is made up of a bunch of tiny tiles that are all different colors, and together they make up a picture. So when we're together, we tend to minimize our differences and look for common ground between us. We look at each other and we say, hey, you might be older than me, I might be younger than you, but we're both still, men or women or whatever, and that's something that we have in common. Or we might look at each other and say, like, you might be white and I might be Asian, but we're both still queer, so that's something that we have in common, so on and so forth. And we do this because we're looking for reasons to get along. And we figure if there are things that we have in common, like we both like Chipotle, or we both like Dungeons and Dragons, or whatever, then we don't need to fight. We don't need to have conflict, which is good. Not fighting is good. We love peace. Big fan of not having, violent conflict, right? And there is something that we miss out on when we don't acknowledge our differences. Not just acknowledge them, but celebrate them. We should celebrate our differences. It's good that we're not all the same. Having a garden of entirely peas would suck. Diversity comes with benefits. So, okay, this is an example that I've used before, but I'm going to use it again because some people here might not have heard it. Who keeps their ketchup in the refrigerator? It's most people. Okay. Who keeps their ketchup in the pantry? Nobody? Really? I thought the Hugheses kept your ketchup in the pantry. You changed! Oh my goodness. You conformed! No! Be proud of your ketchup status. Okay, so some people keep their ketchup in the pantry. Apparently nobody in this room, because the Hugheses folded under pressure. And some people keep it in the fridge. And the reason this matters is because let's say you're cooking something and it calls for ketchup. Okay, and you realize that you're out of ketchup. You squeeze the old bottle and it's out of ketchup, right? Well, depending on where you keep your ketchup will affect what substitutes you might decide to use. So if you keep your ketchup in the pantry, you'll look at your other things in the pantry and go, well, I don't have ketchup, but I have, this can of tomato paste or something. Let me use that. If you keep your ketchup in the fridge, you end up looking in your fridge for substitutes, and you go, oh, well, I don't have ketchup, but I have this bottle of sriracha in the fridge, so I'm going to substitute that. Which, newsflash, you don't need to keep your sriracha in the fridge either, actually. I assure you, every Vietnamese restaurant in the United States just keeps bottles of sriracha out on. That stuff has so much, salt and garlic in it, nothing is going to happen to it, if you leave it out. Just trust me. Okay, here's another example. This is a new one, in case you're tired of my ketchup story. We have a lot of records of these really elaborate Roman hairstyles. It's in art. We're talking ancient Rome here. It's in the art. It's on these statues. These statues have these really elaborate hairstyles that just defy gravity. And archaeologists could not really figure out how they did these hairstyles. Or maybe they weren't even real. Maybe they just put them on statues and they're not real hairstyles, or they figured that they wore wigs or something like that, And then this hairstylist, Janet Stevens, piped up and said, looks like that hair is sewn, actually. That the hair is sewn into that style. And they were like, nah, sounds fake, actually. And she was like, bet. And went away and recreated those hairstyles. So that's Janet Stevens. I think that's from her Instagram. And so she was recreating these hairstyles by sewing them and demonstrated, yes, actually these are sewn hairstyles. And she has more of these pictures up on her website. And now actually she does like hair archaeology. That's her thing now. So those are some very tangible, measurable benefits to diversity. Diversity increases innovation. Diversity helps us find solutions to our problems where we might not otherwise have seen them. Diversity brings us a fuller picture of the world. If not for Janet Stevens and her experience with hair, we might not have figured out that, this was how the ancient Romans did their hair. Now here is the less tangible benefit of diversity, which is that each encounter with the other, each encounter with that which is different from us is also an encounter with the divine. We are all sacred and holy beings. Sacred like the longleaf pine, sacred like the bottlenose dolphin, sacred like the buffalo. Old or young, black or white, gay or straight, rich or poor, we are all sacred. And we're all different. I'm different from a lot of you in a lot of ways. I am the child of immigrants. I'm queer. I'm transgender. I was born and raised in California. I am bilingual. I'm Chinese American. I am an elder, thank you, millennial. I am temporarily able-bodied. I got my driver's license in 2017. Yes, that was recent. I'm allergic to cashews and pistachios. And I have naturally curly hair. So there are many points of difference between myself and many of you. Also, some points of similarity, I'm sure. Maybe there was something in that list that I read off where one of y'all was like, me too. And I'm just as divine as anyone else in this room. No more and no less. Each of us is sacred. Each of us is holy. And we celebrate that here. That's part of why we get together on Sunday mornings, is to celebrate that which is sacred and holy and divine and hold that in reverence. And that is, one of those things is life itself. And so we must celebrate the diversity in and amongst ourselves. We must celebrate that which makes us unique, because what makes us different and unique and the same as each other is also what makes us divine. We are all, as the song says, marching in the light of God. Also, let's be real, the world would be boring if we were all the same. Just like it would suck to have a garden that was only peas, or a garden that was only chrysanthemums. I mean, you would get tired of that. What was that? You would want a garden that's only chrysanthemums? No. Okay. Yeah, you wouldn't want a garden that's only peas either, right? No, that would suck. You'd get sick of that, right? So it's beautiful that there are different kinds of birds and different kinds of fish and different languages and different skin colors and hair textures and different shapes to our faces. Diversity is part of what makes the world beautiful, and it is part of what makes us beautiful. So whatever it is that makes you different from other people, it's what makes you beautiful, and it's what makes this community and this world beautiful. Now, diversity is hard. I'm not going to lie to you, it is hard. Because when we're all different kinds of people together, from different backgrounds, different ages and religions and ability levels, we do accidentally hurt each other. Because we have misunderstandings, we miscommunicate, and then there's conflict. And we accidentally leave someone out that we didn't mean to leave out. I do it all the time. I plan things and I forget that someone might need to attend on Zoom because they have trouble leaving the house. Or I cook a meal and I forget that someone's vegetarian because I'm not vegetarian, so I forget. And people have accidentally hurt me too. People have forgotten to use the correct pronouns for me, or they don't take off their shoes inside my home. This is really big. I have a welcome mat that says, "Come as you are, except for your shoes. Please leave those off." And diversity brings change when you haven't been a diverse group before. When a group has had one culture for a long time, and that group might be a church, it might be a country, it might be a business, a company. If they've had one culture for a long time, when they're first trying to become diverse, all these companies are introducing these DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives now, right? It's hard to adjust because newcomers bring their own customs, their own way of doing things. They bring new ideas, and they might be ideas that we really need. Like, you also don't have to keep your soy sauce in the refrigerator. You can also put that in the pantry. So they might be ideas that we really need, and it's sometimes hard to accept new ideas. Sometimes we get defensive about our old ideas. Like, what do you mean I don't need to refrigerate soy sauce? It says on the bottle, refrigerate when opened. But new ideas don't mean that the way we were doing things before was wrong or bad. It just means there's more than one right way to do things. And maybe one of those ways is good right now, or was good in the past, and might not be good in the future. There's more than one right way to be. These are things that we wouldn't have to worry about if we were all the same. If we all celebrated the same holidays, if we all ate the same foods, if we all communicated in the same way, that would be much easier. And it would be maybe just a little bit less beautiful. And it would not reflect the entire truth of the divine, which is that the divine is not just any one thing. The divine is all things. So the next time you feel some kind of impulse to minimize the differences between you and another person, we should continue to find common ground with each other, and we can also acknowledge the differences between us, and what a good thing that is. We don't need to be ashamed of the things that make us different. We can celebrate them. And so now we're going to try it out. I invite everyone to turn to your neighbor, so that might be someone sitting next to you or someone sitting behind or in front of you, and find at least one thing that's different between you. At least one thing. And just have yourselves a little chat about how that's made a difference in your lives. Okay? You have a few minutes. I'll let you know when you're done. Did y'all learn something about each other? Did you learn something about yourselves? Maybe? All right. You can percolate. You can let that marinate a little bit. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is a song. So I invite everyone to please remain seated for our next hymn.
Okay, building bridges. We used this song a lot when we were building our church on bridges. So we're going to sing this through twice, and then we'll go back into our learning rounds exercises here. So this side of the room will start, and then this side of the room will follow, and I'll bring you in when you come in. Okay, so twice through together, and then we'll do a round as long as it may last. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? Building bridges beyond our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? Visions and all of our visions, friends, we could make such reach out to me. With all our visions and all of our visions, I reach out to you, such sweet harmony. With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Boy, you guys are really good. Yeah.
Unitarian Coastal Fellowship shares the plate, and half our offerings we share with local charities. In September and October, we are sharing the plate with a number of holiday giving projects and traditions, all of which involve giving to those who are often forgotten and left behind around the winter holidays, such as children and families who may be unhoused or who lack sufficient means. We can be a Christmas miracle to those children and families. Please give generously so that we as a congregation can be generous to others. And I invite the greeters forward to collect today's offering. Please join us in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive, and we'll sing it twice.
Together
And now we'll have our chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And in Español, extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de verdad, o calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Esto los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. And our closing hymn is number 1059, May Your Life Be as a Song, and stand as you're willing and able.
And we'll sing this through twice. May your life be as a song, resounding to the dawn, to sing away the light, and softly serenade the stars, dancing circles in the light. May your life be as a song, resounding in the dawn, to sing away the light, and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the light.
All right, everybody. I invite everyone to please take a hand, touch a shoulder, touch elbows. If you don't want to hold hands, that's also fine. You can move to the center of whatever interesting shape we're making here. Today it could be a knee. Thank you. Okay, all right. We have some people who don't want to hold hands, which is fine. Okay. All right, everyone. Take a look at this blob that we've made. Yeah, it's a pretty good circle, actually. Yeah, take a look at the circle that we have made. The circle of divine beings. Know that what makes you different is also what makes you holy. And remember that. Amen and blessed be.